It's moving day. You found the perfect apartment with your friends and you're ready to move in. But as you're unpacking boxes, you start to realize that this place has some pretty creepy secrets. Do you stay or do you go? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reading from our creepy dorm room or college stories. So grab your wine and snacks and let's get into it. The first story is called My Roommate by Kelby. I was going to college about an hour away from home. My parents were ecstatic that I finally got out of their house and they practically shoved me out the door on move-in day. It was my first time being away at college, and I was both excited and nervous. When I arrived at my dorm, there were 3 girls there already. One of them introduced herself as my roommate. She had dark circles under her eyes, and she was wearing a tank top and a beanie even though it was the middle of August. The other 2 girls looked very put together, so I thought that maybe I should have dressed up a bit more. I just went with a flowy summer dress and sandals. As we got to know each other, I learned that my roommate didn't really talk to anyone else in the dorm. She spent all of her time in her bed watching TV or on her laptop. She barely acknowledged that I was there, but I didn't mind because I was still getting used to being away from home. One night I woke up to what sounded like screams in the middle of the night. I was extremely scared sitting in my bed wondering if it was a dream. Then I heard what sounded like heavy footsteps pacing back and forth right outside of my door. Then I started hearing muffled thumping sounds coming from the other side of the wall. These noises only lasted for a few minutes before they stopped. In the morning after, of course, not sleeping at all, I got up and went to class. When I returned, my roommate was sitting on her bed with a very smug look on her face. She asked me if I heard anything weird last night, and when I told her about the commotion, she said that she couldn't hear anything. She suggested that maybe I should get some earplugs. I decided that it was probably better not to mention the footsteps again, since she clearly didn't hear anything. This happened a few more times over the course of the semester. I could hear the same footsteps pacing back and forth, followed by the same thumping sounds. My roommate would always act very surprised and concerned when I told her about it, but she never offered any solutions. One night I had enough and I went to her side of the room while she was in bed watching TV, and I asked her straight up if she was doing these things. She got very defensive and said that I was crazy. She said that if she was making these noises, then why wouldn't she be able to hear herself? I tried to explain that sound travels differently through walls and floors, but she didn't want to listen. She told me that I was making a big deal out of nothing and that I should just get over it. I ended up telling my raw and she helped me switch rooms. As I was moving out, my old roommate didn't even bother to say goodbye. I swear that girl was a psycho. Maybe she was practicing her Edward Scissorhands impression. Who knows? All I do know is that I don't miss hearing those footsteps. That was the end of the story. And if you like this story, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.